brothers and sisters, today we are here on one hand to remember Guru Arjan Sahib's martyrdom, who was martyred in 1606 in Lahore due to the reason that the king of India at that time, Jahangir, he didn't like the message of Guru Arjan Sahib, our Gurbani, our holy hymns, which preach equality, egalitarianism and justice. And this has been acknowledged by him in his own autobiography, Tauzik-e Jahangiri, where he admits that Guru Arjan Sahib was becoming so popular among the masses that not only Hindus but even Muslims were following him. So I thought that either I should shut this shop or I should bring him into Islam. And that is where he goes on, that how he then finally issued the orders for martyrdom of Guru Arjan Sahib. That happened almost 419 years ago. But 41 years ago, what happened to the Sikh nation by that state, which claims to be the largest democracy on this planet, that they declared a full-scale war on the Sikh nation, total war. They attacked Darbar Sahib, sanctum sanctorum of the Sikhs, and 37 other Sikh historical shrines on the day, June 3rd, which was the martyrdom day of Guru Arjan Sahib. It was not only attack by some army paratroopers or some commandos. They used artillery, they used air power, they used naval divers, they used air force to see that from where the people are moving towards Amritsar. They cut Punjab from the whole of the world. They banned even walking on foot on all the focal points of 13,000 plus Punjab villages. Army had tanks there, and with the result that in the following days, from June 1st till June 10th, how many people were killed, we don't know. No white paper was ever issued on how many they killed. Though Indira Gandhi issued a false white paper in the month of July 1984, in which they said that 83 soldiers and 700 something civilians were killed, which was a total lie. And it was not that Punjab was cut off from the rest of the world. They made sure that no foreign correspondent stays here, so that they should not be able to know that what happened to the Sikh nation. But still, luckily, one correspondent of Associated Press, Brahm Chalani, now today, though he is in a different camp, he is now running a Hindutva think tank based in Delhi. But at that time, Brahma Chalani, who arrived late in the hotel room there, he reported from Shimla, as Shimla was the place where there were no restrictions, and the world knew that how the Sikh pilgrims were shot dead at point blank range. He interviewed doctors of medical college, where he said that he saw that how arms tied behind elderly men, women, children were shot at point blank range. Then he interviewed those workers of Amritsar municipal committees or Amritsar corporations, those Safai workers, those who were brought in there. They were served liquor and they were asked to dispose of the bodies, which in thousands they took in the dump trucks to the Baba Deep Singh Shaheed Gurdwara. Near that Gurdwara there is a cremation ground. There they burnt by putting kerosene oil on them. these all reportings, when the world knew through the Associated Press, as Associated Press like Reuters is a big news agency around the globe, world had at least knew that what Sikh nation has gone through. And that was 41 years ago. And today, as we are June 8th, and at the place from where I am addressing this gathering is founded by our Gadri Babas. Close by, still we have that encyclo-styling press on which the information under Gadar Gunja used to be published by Kartar Singh Saraba and his other co-editors, co-writers. That was almost more than 100 years ago. This Gurdwara Sahib was founded in 1912. And very interestingly, when we are seeing that how the free media, the press is being throttled in India, that didn't happen just 41 years ago. Even as we mentioned about 4-day drone missile warfare between India and Pakistan, not only mainstream media of India was telling the lies that they have captured Karachi and their armies in Islamabad and they are about to capture Lahore, but they banned 8,000 YouTube channels which were giving the true information. Not only that, these days we are seeing in Punjab that few YouTubers who visited Pakistan after opening of Kartarpur Sahib corridor, they had friendly relations with the neighboring journalists and others. Now they are being arrested in the name of spying for Pakistan's ISI, as they want to throttle that very voice. And it's very interesting that when Gadri Babas came from, many of them from Canada to America, that was the time that Britishers were so scared of those Gadarites there, even in Canada, those who thought that now there is the prime duty to liberate India from the British yoke, that at one time in Canada this was being planned that all Sikhs in British Columbia and other places should be sent to Honduras. And it's on record, those who have done their PhDs in this subject, and then when Sikhs came to know that they are sending us to Honduras, they decided on one way how to stop that nefarious move, but at the same time, they are trickling into America via Portland, Seattle, then Central Valley. And when we talk about this press, Gadar Gunja, and this voice from there, America is a blessed land, as the First Amendment of our Constitution gives us the right to express ourselves, to say whatever we want to say. And they found this place, Stockton, at this very place, which is Pacific Coast Khalsa Diwan Society, Stockton, from where they started publishing Gadar Gunja. And that publication was not up to America. In 18 other countries, that publication, including India, as at that time Britishers had firm control on the whole of press. And until even now in India, we always used to see that paper quota, that which newspaper is to be published, how much paper is to be given, is always decided by the government. For the reason at that time there was no social media and there were no other channels of communication. So for us it is very important when international media took notice of what we are going through. That was the time when the opposite narrative, for these 41 years, they dubbed us as the terrorists. They came up with the new 3 words in Hindi, Atankvadi, Algavvadi, Ugrvadi, to label us. But for the first time in the last 2 years, our case is being understood on the true lines, that not only our nation has suffered in that land in India for 41 years, and to just give a background that why when it comes to, and it was while I was in Notre Dame almost 15 years ago, in one of the discussions, the head of their International Peace Studies program, he asked me that why Indian state is after the Sikhs? Sikhs are an asset of them. They are the, Punjab is the breadbasket of India. Sikhs are the best soldiers. They are the loyalist nationalists. Why they are after Sikhs? Why they want to destroy Sikhs? Destroying Sikhs means destroying India. And I said, sir, this is not just a battle for few districts of Punjab or just a few people against the state. This is the battle of ideas. And the Indian state, particularly today when we talk about Hindutva, before it was Brahmanism, we need to know that even Nazi ideology, they always know the word Aryan comes from Arya. And Arya, when you look at Rig Veda, you look at Varna Ashram, you look at caste system, and then you look at racism. Racism in the worst form even today exists in India, as the very bedrock of Hinduism is the caste system, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And when it comes to Brahman, look at what symptoms they have for the Brahmins. White color, tall man, long nose, and with the Kulean language, which is the Sanskrit. And one has to find out that why Hitler was interested to open Sanskrit University in Berlin, why the very swastika, the symbol of Nazis, is not a German word, it is not a Latin word, or it is not a word of any European language, it is a word from Sanskrit. That why swastika, the Nazi ideology, all these things, they were of importance to the Nazis. And the very Nazi ideology, if you today look at Hindutva's philosophy, when they say Hindu, Hindi, Hindustan, then at once our thoughts go to one nation, one race, one people, one leader. That was the ideology of Nazism. And not simply even man like Rabindranath Tagore, Nobel laureate. He met Mussolini twice, once before, then second time when it was opposed by others, he shouldn't meet. And look at Nazism and fascism, how close ideologies they are. And this RSS, the bunch of thoughts written by Golwalkar, who led RSS for a long time, though RSS was founded by Dr. Hedgewar, and you will see Golwalkar in the bunch of thoughts admiring Hitler. Even Savarkar, the real father of Hindutva ideology, who has been recommended for the Bharat Ratan, the highest award of India. Savarkar says that what solution Nazis has found about the minorities, the same is applicable here in India. So when we look at the challenges, what Indira Gandhi did 41 years ago, what Narendra Modi is doing today, and what is happening to the minorities in India, not only Sikhs of Punjab, but even Christian belt in the northeast, it may be Nagaland, it may be Mizoram, or it may be Kuki tribe of Manipur. Similarly, on the other hand, Muslims in Kashmir and other India's so-called untouchables, Dalits, then one will understand that this is a fight of ideas. On one hand is the racist ideology of Hindutva. On the other hand, there is the ideology of Guru Nanak Padshah, equality, egalitarianism, justice for all. And that is the real fight. And Sikhism as a faith is the biggest challenge for them even today. Now some words about transnational repression crime, which Indian states started committing outside. When on one hand they killed not only June 84, it was a full-scale attack and killings of thousands of Sikhs. This genocide of the Sikhs continued for the next almost more than 10 years till 1995, with the result that eventually they thought that they have finished the movement, but when outside the Sikhs, those who came outside got asylum in these countries, Eventually they thought that now this voice should be crushed. And that is how almost firstly in Lahore, Bhai Paramjit Singh Panjwad was martyred on May 6, 2023. Then June 15th, 2023, Bhai Avatar Singh Khanda was murdered through a chemical which KGB provided, as most of us will listen. And then on June 18th, 2023, Bhai Avatar Singh Khanda's, Bhai Hardeep Singh Nijjar's cold-blooded murder took place in the Gurdwara complex parking lot of Gurdwara Sahib, Surrey. Now, where we are today, Dr. Cheema has mentioned on June 6th, there was a Sikh Ardas in US House of Representatives. It is a big achievement. Sikh Congressional Caucus, which has done a human service to the Sikh nation in spite of the opposition from sometimes own circles, those who used to say, oh, Sikh caucus don't talk so of Khalistan, or they are this or that. But the day it started and today, after 11, 12 years, there are 50 plus US congressmen, bipartisan, Democrats and Republicans, who are members of this Sikh caucus. And this is a big achievement. Not only that the prayer took place inside, though they were very set words as they have to go through the approval or they have to be approved by the higher authorities. But towards the end, when Pai Sahib said, Parnam Shahidanu, then it was very clear that today, after 41 years, we have got the stamp, approval stamp from that power, that superpower, which is ultimately today is the deciding factor of the new world order, which we all are understanding what is happening in Europe, in the Middle East, and in the South Asia. On the other hand, when 2-hour function took place in the corridors of Congress, over 15 congressmen, bipartisan, and not only that, whip of the majority party, Republican, and the whip in the House of Democratic Party, both were there to pay tribute. This is, I think, the diaspora has achieved over all these years. India thought that by killing Hardeep Singh Nijjar, by killing Avatar Singh Khanda, by killing Bhai Paramjit Singh Panjwad, they have suppressed the voice. The outside Sikhs won't speak, but I think the Khalistan referendum movement, and particularly in the Five Eyes countries, America, Canada, UK, Australia and New Zealand, where hundreds of thousands of Sikhs have come out to vote for Khalistan, that shows that today 5 million Sikh diaspora is ready for its freedom. And in these 2 years, on one hand, India's image as a rogue state has been exposed, that it's not a democracy, it's not a land of peace and land of Buddha. Actually, it is in the name of democracy, it is a Nazi-cracy. And one need to know that German's name was Socialist Republic of Germany. Hitler didn't capture power through any coup in the army. His party, Nazi party, won the elections, though they did stunts like burning the parliament before, blaming it on the communists, and then having the propaganda around. Many people may not know that the word propaganda is a German language word. And the propaganda minister of Hitler's cabinet was Dr. Goebbels. Even today, when we have to say that somebody is lying, we say Goebbelian lies. And these Goebbelian lies, Nazis, they have mastered this art. And today we see that how Hindu Taviz has mastered this art. But today, India stands exposed in the world as a rogue state. And at the same time, the case of Khalistan is on the international radar. It's now our duty. On one hand, we as Sikhs, we believe in the freedom of expression. We believe in the equality of all human beings. 10th Master Guru Gobind Singh Sahib says, consider ye all human race as one. And we hope that international community, which is now which is aware of what we are going through, very soon they should consider, they should work towards that. The opinion makers, lawmakers, decision makers of this country and other influential countries in the world, they should give that very right to the Sikhs, which almost on December 10th, 1948, when representatives of 50 countries gathered at San Francisco, declared UN Charter of Human Rights and gave the right of self-determination to the people who are struggling for their rights. And I'll conclude by saying that even our armed struggle during those times, it had its basis in the preamble of UN Charter of Human Rights, which says, if a man is not to be compelled as a last resort to rebellion, his human rights must be protected by the rule of the law. And this is the same philosophy of 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, Chunkaras, Hama Hilte, Darguzast, Halalas, Burdanba, Shamshir Das. So today we are offering our prayers for martyrs. We are remembering them in our memory, but at the same time, we are resolving, we are determined to create a buffer state of Khalistan between three nuclear powers, India, Pakistan and China, whose borders will extend from Wagah border to the river Jamuna. And this Khalistan is the only guarantee of permanent peace, stability and prosperity in the South Asia. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.